like it when you whip a wing. Ain't she cute? Sweet Betty.
Magic mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land. You're the fairest in the land.
I want to see my stepmama, stepmama, stepmama. I want to see my stepmama.
Our stepmama, the queen.
I've heard about your looking glass, looking glass, looking glass. I've heard about your looking glass.
And what it says is so.
Magic mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land. You're the fairest in the land.
Off with her head.
Okay, queen. What a shame. Poor Betty.
Always in the way. I can never play. My own mama would never say I'm always in the way. Don't leave me here alone. I don't want to freeze. Am I the fairest in the place?
If I were you, I'd hide my face.
And if I were you, I'd bag my face.
Folks, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary. See my baby there, she's dressed out on a long white table. She's so sweet, so oh, so fair. Let her go, oh bless her. Wherever she may be, she will search this wide world over, but she'll never find another sweet man like me. Now when I die, bear me in my straight leg breeches, put on a box back coat and a Stetson hat, put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain, so you can let all the boys know I died standing pat. Then give me 6 rap shooting pallbearers. Let it chorus girl sing me a song. Put a red hot jazz band at the top of story. Say, boy, hand me over another shot of that blues. If anyone should ask you, tell 'em I got those St. James in burning.
Mirror in my hand now. Who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land.
Mr. Stewart, he's a doctor, a lieutenant. Just as his obituary was to be written, aliens bring him back to the here and now. He has been fixed with a new heart and a new brain that has squeezed out the old soul. As the minutes and days pass, his resistance declines. The new brain has the same memories and data as if downloaded onto a computer. He is the replacement for the President of the United States, active 2013.
When I regained consciousness, I was on a table. Next thing I knew, they were coming at me. Strange people. Their eyes, those horrible eyes. They didn't speak. I could see something strange and eerie pulsating in front of me. Then one of them lowered it toward my chest. My own heart. What happened? What is this place? Who are you? What are you doing to me? Can't you speak? Who are you?
Step forward, Dr.
Stewart.
I see you are quite well. You have recovered from your unfortunate accident.
Who are you?
A scientist, like yourself.
Where do you come from?
From a planet, yet unknown to you.
To know my name. Speak English.
We speak every language.
Can't expect me to believe that. I'm getting out of here.
Stay where you are.
Who are you?
I have already told you that.
How did you get here?
Here. In our machines magnetically propelled across the electron bridge we have created.
Electron bridge? You mean you come and go, just like that? Without anyone ever seeing you?
Our ships have been sighted on numerous occasions by your people.
Then why haven't we been able to track one down?
We have a warning system similar to your primitive radar. Our machines are set to change course at the mere approach of a pursuing object.
Let's say I do believe it. Where are we right now?
In a cavern within the upper crust of the earth.
How long have we been here?
Since the beginning of your experiments in nuclear fission.
What have you got to do with that?
We are accumulating the energy released with each of your atomic explosions. One moment.
No, I hear it.
No, we're here. I let it now, Nino. You know, never, you know. Yeah, I read it. Yes, you know. Yeah, you know. How needed it.
What was that?
A report from the monitor we sent to the surface to obtain the results of your last nuclear test.
Results? They'll take days to analyze and compute.
I think you will find these figures are correct.
Can't believe it. Where is that man?
You don't recognize the area?
No.
He is in the vicinity where you crashed.
That rock was glowing.
A normal reaction in view of the amount of radiation absorbed. You have a remarkable memory, Doctor, considering the fact that you did not survive the crash.
What do you mean?
The mechanism of your heart had ceased to function. It was necessary for us to revive it. You were dead.
Dead? That's what they were doing. You didn't even try to help the pilot. Why did you save me?
Because we had an important need of your services.
Such as?
This gentleman, he appeared almost as I am, except that he was about
Look this way,
5
Doctor.
inches tall, weighing about
You will
150
understand.
to 155 pounds, and they all appear about that same size, including the lady.
Here, Doctor. You are the first of your world to be looking at our solar system, the Astron. This is our planet, Astron Delta.
I have made telepathic contact for the past 8 years.
It occupies the fourth position in relation to this, our sun.
Inside and outside of the solar system.
Yes, go on.
During the 23rd time rotation, our sun began to die. So, during the succeeding generations, as our planet began to cool, vegetation began to disappear. Our eyes developed to this state to combat the ever-growing darkness. We were forced to migrate.
You left your planet? Where?
We invaded these neighboring planets. They were nearer to our sun. All of us, well over 1 billion. There were feeble attempts to stop us, but we were prepared for such contingencies. Now that our sun is about to completely expire, we must move again in order to survive. Yours is the only planet in this solar system capable of supporting our civilization.
Over 1 billion of you trying to come here to Earth.
We have no alternative. We have been putting our plan to work for some time. At the proper moment, the invasion will be launched from our platforms, which are being readied in space. Nothing can stop us.
This is ridiculous.
You cannot find your way in or out of this cavern. Do not try to leave. Oh, you have discovered our menagerie. Don't you think you will be more at ease on this side of the cage?
What are you doing here? We are breeding our, shall I say, armies. Carnivorous insects and animals? Look at them. Their growth is due to a change in their genes. With your next nuclear test, these animals will multiply at a rate beyond imagination. When the time comes, we will unleash them. They will spread to every continent and devour every living thing on the surface of the earth. What good will that do you? How could you expect to survive better than we? We have provided for that. No, Doctor. Look over there. We will use their bodies to fertilize the soil. Vegetation will rise up in abundance. A new era of civilization will begin. Gamma rays? You see, Doctor, we have arranged for everything. Wait a minute. All this equipment? Our nuclear storage unit. To date, we have accumulated several billion electron volts as a result of your atomic explosion. Several billion? A chain reaction at this point could release enough unstable isotopes to create a new and powerful element. Might be impossible to control. True. An element that will never be known by your science. I can assure you the strength of this new element will... And it is a powder keg. Could go off at any minute. I assure you, Doctor, we have everything under our complete control. What force could possibly be strong enough to harness it? So you control your whole operation by electricity. Of course, no generators. That means you're getting your power from somewhere on the surface. It must be passing through here. You have heard enough, Doctor.
Stewart.
Step inside. All right. What do you want from me? You will have access to advanced information relative to the time and strength of the forthcoming atomic test. What about it? You will provide us with that information as soon as it is available. You're afraid of an overload. You can't tap enough electricity wherever you get it from to control a strong enough charge. You are a clever man, Doctor. Perhaps too clever. What makes you think I'll give you any information? It is the only way you can save your own life when the time comes. You will be transported to one of our platforms in space and resettled here when our operation is completed. You're asking me to sabotage the entire world, 3 billion people. They are doomed in any case. There's no alternative. I'll have to do as you say. You are lying, Doctor. Your only wish is to betray us. No. I know. Your thoughts have been recorded. Lie detector? Call it what you like. You force me to resort to other methods. I will contact our space station. You are an unwilling subject, Doctor. What? Who are you? I am Vitar. You will listen and obey. No, You will listen to my orders and obey. You will listen and obey. Listen and obey. You will have seen or heard yet nothing but my orders that you will obey. Yes. You will obtain the data and bring it to the stone near the place where your flame was wrought. To the stone. What have you seen or heard here? What have you seen or heard here? Nothing. Repeat my orders. I will obtain the data and bring it to the stone.
You're kind of cute in a weird sort of a way. After a person gets over being scared of you. Why'd you grow that awful beard?
To scare people with.
When'd you go? 1927?
You know something about that Yeva and stuff?
Oh, here. If you want a good smoke, try one of these. I thought you were a sport. Of course, if you're afraid. That's bitter. That's more like it. I know you like that. Really, you will. Now just take a puff of that.
Next, we're going to drink the wheat, which has got about 60% wheat in it. It's a little cloudier. I didn't get the most perfect filter, but that's part of club brewing. And it has a little more alcohol in it. It's about 5% alcohol and a little less bitterness. You might notice a little more hop character in the blonde than you will in the wheat. During the hop additions for the wheat, we don't add any hops late in the kettle. We want to let that malt flavor come in that the wheat provides. It's a very subtle malt character. The blonde has a more of a crisp, dry finish to it, a little bit of a hop bite as well. I had a couple questions about wheat beer and Hefeweizen and filtered and unfiltered, etc. So this beer looks a little cloudy. It looks like a Hefeweizen. And I'll let you in a little secret. What happened is we had a problem with our glycol chiller, and it wasn't quite getting beer cold enough. One of the best things about having the chiller is that filtering beer when it's really cold is a lot easier when it's just cold. And so I had to filter this beer because we were running out when it was about 40, 42 degrees instead of when it was like 34 degrees. We try and get as close to freezing as we can to filter it. And it's really just a physical property thing with the liquid in that things are not moving that much when they're colder. And it only sounds like 10 degrees, but that's a big 10 degrees. So I almost didn't do it, but I didn't want to run out of wheat, so I did it. So it's a little cloudier than it usually would be. A Hefeweizen, a true Hefeweizen, is an unfiltered German-style wheat beer. And it uses a special yeast that adds kind of a clovey, banana-like flavor. A true Hefeweizen has a kind of a unique flavor to it. Superk makes one. I'm trying to think if Sack Brewing has one. But brewers have made it confusing because there are Hefeweizens out there that are made with this traditional regular ale yeast that doesn't have that clovey banana-like flavor. So there are Hefeweizens out there that aren't true Hefeweizens, although it says it on the label. Widmer is a perfect example. That is not a true Hefeweizen. That's an unfiltered American wheat ale. This is, although it doesn't look like it, a filtered American wheat ale. We use our regular ale yeast that we use on all our ales for this beer, and we filter out the yeast. If you didn't filter out the yeast, it would be an unfiltered American wheat beer. But trying to capitalize on the name, some brewers call their beer a Hefeweizen when it is filtered and when it is using the traditional or regular ale yeast. The Bavarian yeast strain is actually a wild yeast strain. That's why it has that funky kind of banana clove-like flavor to it. So, there's another picture. All right, so the next beer we're going to taste, which I happen to have right behind me, so I'll start pouring. So I'll talk about first, is the Tropic Ale, which is our wheat beer blended with fruit flavoring. The fruit flavoring is naturally derived; it's not artificial. It's a blend of mango and apricot together. That's why we call it Tropic Ale. It's got kind of a mango flavor to it. It's very fruity. It'll be a little strong for some of you. Some of you will like it, some of you won't. So I'm just going to pour smaller samples unless you really like it. It's got a very strong aromatic.
Last scene wearing blue jeans.
Evans was a murderer.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through any emergency that will keep you informed of all developments.
And the killing of his own child.
Some facts, as we know, there is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins.
and
Murders
dig
are
the
taking place
purse.
in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs.
And a washer behind his ear, and the prison bell was tolling, but Jim Evans didn't hear. Saying, go down, you murderer, go down.
Describe them as being in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Consistent reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that killers are eating the flesh of the people they killed. And so this incredible story becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you. Reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of... they seem are not the results of mass hysteria. Wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. Medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word of just arriving, and interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure from a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. That situation has now changed. We're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you. Make your way to that location as soon as possible. Call this afternoon. Called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an Earthbound emergency? So far, all the betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA. Scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering? Newsman Don Quinn in Washington.
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection. In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations? There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been
logical explanation that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between that connection as far as Dr. Heller and myself?
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded?
Unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a reply
later?
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report.
Yes. Later. We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
World's foremost authority. Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from this. The university is so committed as needed. The university, we have a staff now is how much all four limbs have been amputated. Sometime early this morning, Andrew opened his eyes and began to move his trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move. They should be disposed. The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation. It's only a matter of minutes. No, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make reasonable arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soaked with gasoline and burned. They're just in flesh. Dangerous.
think he can remember what the name of that song was, but it's called Can't Remember Nothing. That was from our One Foot in Front of the Other album. Who the hell are you?
Give it to me straight, Doctor. Well, a number of things are involved. The systemic condition of the individual, the amount consumed, exertion.
Yes?
You won't feel too badly for a while. Then it will happen suddenly. A day, 2 days, a week at the most. A day. 2 days. There's nothing that can be done now. If it had been caught in time, your stomach could have been washed out. But you've had it in you for some time now. For at least 12 hours, haven't you, Bigelow?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Don't you know how you got it?
No.
This is no accident. Somebody knew how to handle that stuff. That wax is tasteless and odorless. And the amount of alcohol in your body, you must have got it in liquor.
I was drinking last night.
Arrange for your admission to the hospital immediately. Of course, I'll have to notify the police. This is a case for homicide.
Homicide?
I don't think you fully understand, Bigelow. You've been murdered.
So this is the Otis Alt. This is probably our most famous beer. It's a German-style amber beer. Alt is German for old. In Germany, they're known now, and a lot of Europe is known for brewing lagers, but 300 years ago, before they had microscopes and stuff, everybody brewed ales. They didn't really have lager yeast isolated yet, didn't understand the fermentation that well. The science wasn't there for the brewers yet. And so everybody brewed ales, but as lagers started sweeping across Europe and the Germans really became known for it, there was a part of Germany near Dusseldorf that hung on to its traditional beer, which was the alt beer. And that's why it's called the old beer. It's the older style of beer. It has a fairly decent hop character, a lot of hops added to the kettle. It used German-style malts, Munich and Vienna malts, to give it a nice round, malty backbone. It's about 5.3% alcohol. And we've won 11 medals at the Great American Beer Festival, which is the most prestigious awards in North America. It's held every year in Denver in the fall. And of those 11 medals, the Alt has won 5 of them. Two of which were gold. So, and last year it just won a gold for it as well. It's also won a gold medal in the World Beer Competition, which is held every 2 years, which is a big international kind of like the Olympics of beer. So it's done pretty well for us. It's definitely a local favorite as well.
Is that your most award-winning beer there?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't count too much the State Fair and Small Brew Festival. When you enter something like GABF, that's really the only thing that really matters to you. So yeah, it's definitely a big award.
Our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
As far as I know, an alien spacecraft did not crash in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947.
Congress should investigate the rash of reported sightings of unidentified flying objects in southern Michigan and other parts of the country.
If the United States Air Force did recover alien bodies, they didn't tell me about it either, and I want to know. I mean, I saw a survey the other day that said that some people, a lot of people in their 20s thought it was more likely that they would see a UFO than that they would ever draw Social Security.
I will talk to you about. There is nothing else to talk about. For there is nothing else. Life is an obscure hobo bumming a ride on the omnibus of art. Burn gas buggies and whip your sour cream of circumstance and hope. And go ahead and sleep your bloody heads off. Creation is. All else is not. What is not creation is Graham Cracker. Let it all crumble to feed the Creator. is a canvas or a painting. A rock is a rock or a statue. A sound is a sound or is music. A creature is a creature or an artist. Where are John, Joe, Jake, Jim, Jerk? Dead. They were not born. Before they were born, they were not born. Where are Leonardo, Rembrandt, Ludwig? Alive. They were born. Bring on the multitude of fishes. Feed them to the fishes for liver oil. Nourish the artist. Stretch their skins upon an easel to give him canvas. Crush their bones into a paste that he might mold them. Let them die. And by their miserable deaths become the clay within his hands, that he might form an ashtray or an ark. For all that is comes through the eye of the artist. The rest are blind fish swimming in the cave of aloneness. Swim on, you maudlin, muddling, maddened fools, and dream one bright and sunny night. Some artist bait a hook and let you bite upon it. Bite hard and die. In his stomach, you are very close to immortality. Zifial. Slange van Zeredo. Slange van Zeredo. Oh, who's supposed to blew me out?
a specimen indeed. He always got rid of Withers.
Get away from that
You
phone,
asked for it,
Margaret.
you're going to get it.
Leave that phone
I'll enjoy
alone,
telling
Margaret.
your friends
Leave
that you
that
and your
phone
little lover
alone.
have been up to.
I hate
You said she was sitting on the divan.
Yes, right here.
I see.
What do you think could have caused it, Doctor?
Well, that's difficult to say. You have no idea how long she might have been sitting there.
No. Oh, the clerk did say she phoned down about 1 in the morning.
Between 1 and 8:30.
What difference does that make, Doctor? The important thing is what can you do for her?
It's hard for a doctor to make promises. We can only do our best. Are you living permanently at the hotel?
No, as a matter of fact, we've got to clear out by noon.
Oh, I see. Well, then I'd better take her to my place. She's going to need someone with her night and day.
Dr. Cross has a private sanatorium just out of town.
I see. Believe me, Lieutenant, it's best for her.
But there must be a hospital here in San Francisco. I'd like to be near her.
Of course. But I'm at my place every day. It's in the country, and she'll get plenty of fresh air and quiet.
If I were you, Lieutenant, I'd listen to Dr. Cross. Okay. You men know best. Just get her well again.
I was getting ready to leave when you called. I'll take Mrs. Stewart up with me now. Hello, this is Dr. Cross. Will you get my office, please?
I'm going along with her, Doctor.
I'd rather you waited, Lieutenant, until I've been able to give her a thorough examination. It's quite possible your presence may excite her and do her more harm than good.
It's just that it's been so long since I've seen her.
Why don't you drive up with me tomorrow? Miss Jordan, will you call the hospital and tell Miss Hatfield to have a room ready for a new patient? We'll be there shortly. Yes, that's right. You pick us up at the hotel. Right. You'd better pack a bag for your wife, Lieutenant.
Thanks, Doctor.
Your car's waiting, Doctor.
Thank you. This is Miss Jordan from my office, Lieutenant Stewart.
How do you do, Lieutenant?
Mrs. Stewart has had a nervous collapse.
What a shame. Don't you worry, Lieutenant. We'll soon have her well again.
You'll call for me in the morning, right?
Yes, I'll pick you up at 11:30.
Hey, I'm Clyde from Rocco and Cage. You like smokeless tobacco? I like smokeless tobacco. This stuff, this cola, it's already been chewed. So I like it. But it tastes saliva, does it? I'm a multi-billionaire. My friend called me. I just like it. What do you think, Rocco?
Boy, let me try some.
Hey, hold on, man.
Tastes good.
I know
Take
it.
some for a buckle.
Buckle? What kind of buckle? Where'd you get that buckle?
Here's a buckle from a swashbuckle buckle.
Swashbuckle buckle.
Swashbuckle buckle. It's on 21st Street between N and C Street, somewhere around there. Ask for the buckle. He's in charge of the buckles. So you need a buckle, go there and swashbuckle buckle. That's where I get all my buckles.
That's what I'm gonna do after I drink it. Chew my tobacco.
I some damn chew tobacco going there, boy. You chew this yourself.
Dale, you know what you owe me. I know what you owe me. And that is why I took your guitar. And I'm holding it because you were unable to pay me. And I'm willing to sign it over at any time. I've said that from the very beginning. But no, that would require a signature, right? And you'd actually have to take responsibility, you know, and you told me to sell your guitar. And like I told you, why don't you sell it? If you cannot pay me the written deposit without having to sell your guitar, that's not my problem. I took the guitar because I needed some collateral. No way have you made any effort to try. You just tried to run away and go do whatever. Try to think I'm just gonna go away. If you think I'm gonna go away, I'm not. If If you want to go away somewhere, if you want to run away from this, that's your problem. All I'm going to do is keep telling the truth and keep putting it out there. If you don't like that, then come and talk to me. And if anything I've said is wrong or even exaggerated in any way, tell me. Come and tell me. Have the guts to come and tell me yourself what it is I said that is wrong. But you don't know. Everything you know based on supposedly what somebody else said, or this or that, or you heard this or that, because you were never there. You don't, any accusations you had against me, they're all false. And if they're not, I've admitted them. And if there's anything you think I'm holding back or anything, have the guts to come and tell me yourself.